Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is, what do we do with the illegal asylum seekers? Now, most of you will know that I've put myself up for election for Holyrood 2026, and I'm going to be representing SDP, and hopefully I'll be the leader of the SDP Scotland by then. And one of their main principles is actually very, very clever, but yet just applying common sense to the situation. And I actually heard the SDP idea being discussed on GB News on Wednesday, with no mention whatsoever of it being an SDP idea, I hasten to add, but I understand why. That idea is so simple, I don't think it could fail. And you probably wouldn't actually need to use the policy much. Because what I believe is, asylum seekers that are coming are not necessarily asylum seekers, they're illegal ones. And the reason they come here is, it's better than the last place they were in. So if we are not any better than France in terms of how we deal with asylum seekers, illegal ones, they won't come. Save our economy fortunes, release the pressure put on us by an ever-growing, unaccountable population, and more importantly, and most importantly, help the safety of the inhabitants of the United Kingdom, who seem to be increasingly at risk from illegal immigrants who we don't know. We could be importing the biggest murderers from other areas. We just don't know. The statistics quite clearly show that crime is rising from that part of our unwanted population. So the SDP's proposal is, send them to Ascension Islands. So any unsolicited asylum application is actually a breach of UK border laws and will be automatically declined. Now what that means is, an authorised UK border crossing is someone that arrives at an airport or a port and presents herself to a border official and says, I claim asylum. That's one of the two ways you can claim asylum in the UK, and it's actually not that difficult. The other way is applying before you come. So it's quite easy to apply for asylum in this country. Yet thousands, hundreds of thousands now have decided that that's not the process they want to take. They just want to walk into the country or sail into the country and disappear and take benefits of everything that we can offer. And those benefits are obviously better than where they've just came from, or they simply wouldn't come here. So what we need to do is make it less attractive for the people who are deciding to be illegal immigrants and just come into the country uninvited and undocumented in many cases. So by putting such a thing in place, it would have the same effect as I believe Rwanda would have had if it was able to have got off the ground. Where it wouldn't take long before news would spread that don't go to the UK if you're an illegal immigrant, because they'll just send you to Ascension Islands. So the fact that you will automatically be refused asylum if you come in illegally, and we'll send you to Ascension Islands to process you and then repatriate you to wherever, either your country or another country of choice. But until that's sorted, you're not getting put up in a B&B. You're getting sent to Ascension Islands. So what that would do is two things. It would make people who want to come here under asylum conditions do it legally, in which case we can still decide whether we want them or not, or just not come to the UK and stay at any other countries that will have an unsolicited asylum process. So it wouldn't take long, because people say, oh, that's ridiculous. And we send, the MOD currently have two big massive planes, big massive cargo planes, every week, a minimum of 2 a week, go to Ascension Islands, because it's a refuelling spot for going to Falklands, and we have the MOD go out there constantly with changing troops and supplies and all that sort of stuff. So we've already got a route there, right? All we need to put is a building. And I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about infrastructure and stuff, because you'll not use it much. I guarantee you, you will not use it much because they're only coming because it's nice and cushy and cosy and worth it. Okay? So, what's the downside here? Well, I don't see any because I genuinely don't think you'd end up with a city in Ascension Islands just housing asylum seekers. You would get some at the start, and then folk would go, well, hold on a minute. There's a 90% chance you're going to get a horse to Ascension Islands because you're not going to get into the UK, right? They'll stop coming. This is so simple. We just need to be not as good and easy as the place they've came from, and they'll not come here. Because if France is a better option for you because of whatever their system is, you'll not come here. You know, if you leave Afghanistan and you manage to get to Europe and then you go the way through Greece and Italy and Spain and France to get to UK, that's because the UK is your preferred destination because of pure economy. Now, you could argue, and I've heard some people argue, and I understand that for some of them, it'll be because of family reasons, or they've got family already here. But I don't believe that's any number at all. It might be even less than 1%, even if it's 5%. So that's just unfortunate, right? They perfectly welcome. You have family here, you want to seek asylum here, do it legally. We'll process your application. You may or may not be successful in your application, but you can always apply before you try, right? You can put in your application and we'll let you know if to come or not. Or present yourself at a proper UK border, i.e. an airport or a port, and just tell us, I seek asylum. We'll sort out the application for you. And if it's successful, great. If it's not, no problem. We'll get you a bus to wherever it is you want to go. Okay? And it's not difficult. And it will also save lives because we're seeing people dying in these dinghies now. Well, they've always been doing it, but they're reporting it now, at least in the UK mainstream media. So even from it's humanitarian and ECHR and all that nonsense, your human rights. Yeah, you've got human rights. 100% you have human rights. Everybody does. An expectation of having them, right? But we cannot put the human rights of the inhabitants of the United Kingdom behind folk who are not inhabitants of the United Kingdom. We are not the world's police, right? Everything that goes on in the world doesn't automatically become our problem. Now, that's not to say we will not have a heart, because in the SDP's principles, it tells you there in black and white that the UK should, and they would, offer up to 20,000 refugee visas annually to carefully vetted families. I think that's fair. I think that's nice, and I think that's us doing a bit for the greater good. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are in refugee camps, and I know one who was there for the first 12 years of his life, right? Barak, podcaster from Manchester, originally from Africa. And these people are having to stay in camps for, I think his parents were in that camp for 17 years before they eventually got asylum. So for everybody that comes in illegally and takes their place and jumps the queue, makes these people the proper asylum seekers who have had to run out of their countries that they were in, it puts them further back in the queue. And it leaves them somewhere in a tent in a refugee camp somewhere in the world. So it's cheating them as well. So make UK safer, stop people dying in sea, and let us look after proper asylum seekers, refugees that have had to flee war zones, etc., and persecution. But the process is there, and if you want to buck the process, then you're off you pop, you're going to Ascension, and we'll process you there. I like that. I think that is common sense politics. And I'm all for common sense politics. I've been saying it for months, probably over a year since I started getting involved in politics. Anytime anybody wants to hear me in an X space, that's generally where I'm. Just let's apply common sense to any situation. You'll not go far wrong. I heard Donald Trump saying he's an organisation. I thought, well done, Donny, big chap. You're in the Hoosty Club, right? You're up for a bit of this common sense and logic, and this makes common sense. Absolute, fantastic common sense. And anybody that wants to argue against it, then tell me two things. Tell me, A better plan to put people off coming here illegally. or just admit you want an open border. Because that's where we are. And I don't want an open border in my country. I keep saying it as well. A government's main priority should be the health and the safety of the people in a country. The government over here, that's their people, that's their job, right? But that doesn't say we just say, right, we're not helping anybody anytime. But we can't take over 100,000 people in dinghies. That's just ridiculous. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Let me know your comments below. That's always good. But most importantly of all, unless you are the type of person that thinks the current situation of just opening my doors to asylum seekers and getting them iPhones and putting them up in hotels across the UK, we're running out of space, right? You'll soon get to a point, if you don't control it, that you'll not be able to get away for a weekend somewhere because all the hotels are gone, right? So, unless that's you, no you, but...
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.